Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome back to another video. So in today's video, I'm going to be talking about Heartland Season 14, Episode 7, and just giving my review on the episode and what I thought and what I liked, what I didn't like, and just talking about the episode in detail as I do every single week that there's a new episode of Heartland Season 14. So with that being said, if you have not seen Heartland Season 14, Episode 7, and you do not want spoilers and you do not want to know what happens in the episode, I'm about to talk about literally everything that happened in the episode. So if you haven't seen the episode yet, there's going to be spoilers in this video. Okay, so if you haven't seen it and you don't want to know what happens, maybe don't watch the rest of this video. But with that being said, for those of you that have seen Heartland Season 14, Episode 7, make sure you watch this video until the very end, because trust me when I say I have a lot of opinions and thoughts and feelings when it comes to this episode and just the future of Heartland in general. So with that being said, I'm finally going to get to today's video topic and talk about Heartland Season 14, Episode 7. However, before I do that, I need to remind you guys to please leave a like on the video if you enjoy, and to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, to help me reach a goal of 20,000 subscribers. I would really appreciate that. And in turn, if you guys subscribe, I promise to keep you guys as up to date as possible on everything Heartland Season 14 related. So if you want daily Heartland videos and Season 14 updates, make sure you hit the red subscribe button down below. And as well, I will try my best to provide the most accurate and up-to-date information regarding the future of Heartland and any future seasons. So if you want to stay up to date on everything Heartland related, Season 14 and Season 15 and just the rest of the future of the show, make sure you hit the subscribe button. And as I said, I will do my best to provide the most accurate and up-to-date information that I can find about the future of Heartland. But with that being said, I'm finally going to talk about today's video topic and Episode 7, or else we're going to be here for another 9 years. And that's a lot of video editing for me, and going to be honest, don't really want that. So when it comes to Episode 7, when I was watching the previews and first looks and promos for Episode 7, I knew that it was going to be heartbreaking, but I also thought and knew that it was going to be an episode that was necessary. Now, I was right. When I was watching the episode, I was an emotional disaster. It was or in my opinion, it had one of the most emotional scenes of Heartland Season 14, and that is when Amy has to explain to Lyndy that her dad is gone and is never coming back. Now that scene, or that a sneak peek of that scene, was in fact in the one of the first looks for Heartland Season 14, Episode 7. So I knew that was coming, and I knew it was going to be heartbreaking, and it was. When it comes to Heartland Season 14, I've said this before and I'll say it again, Amber Marshall deserves an award for her performance as Amy in Season 14. It is absolutely phenomenal. She does a fantastic and phenomenal job with the character of Amy, and just I don't even know the word to use to describe how good the character of Amy has been developed in this season. I made videos in the past talking about the importance of character development in a long-running TV show such as Heartland, and friendly reminder and something to keep in mind as well is that Heartland has been running for now 14 years, and we've fallen in love with the characters for the last 14 years, and sometimes when that happens and there's a long-running TV show, the main characters kind of become boring. And in order to stop that from happening, the writers need to give the main characters character development. Now, in Heartland's case, Amy is the main character. And while Heartland Season 14 is very sad with the death of Ty and the departure of Graham Wardle from the show, I think season 14 is doing a phenomenal job giving all the characters, but specifically Amy, character development. And just that is kind of just my opinion on Amy this season. Getting back to episode 7, I loved Amy's interactions with Lyndy in this episode. I loved how the Spencer twins, who play Lyndy Borden, got more dialogue in this episode. Their connection with Amber is amazing. If you've seen the photos of them behind the scenes, or even just from Amber or the Spencer twins' Instagram, you know and you can tell that they love having Amber in their life, and that really comes across on screen very well, in my opinion, when, you know, they have to have a scene like they did last night between Amy and Lyndy. You can really see the connection that Amber has with the Spencer twins, and it works very well, very well on screen when you're working with a younger actor, in this case, child actors, when they are connected to the person that they are doing the scene with, and in this case it would be Amber as Amy. So I loved that scene. I thought it was very well done, and I was very emotional. Just because, that's something that every kid, when they lose a parent at a young age, they go through a time, I think, where they don't necessarily maybe understand, and maybe that's what Lyndy was going through up until this episode. Maybe she just thought that, her daddy was going to come home from work, because she literally said, "Daddy will ride Harley when he gets back." So does that mean she thought he was just at work or gone away? Maybe. But then in that moment, in the scene where Amy has to explain to Lyndy that, Daddy's gone and he's never coming back, I think you could tell that she understood in that moment that, he is gone, he's not coming back, and then all the Heartland fandom cries. And then besides that scene, I love that Quinn and Georgie are back. Now, it was not an engagement ring in the box that we saw in the first look or preview or promo for episode 7, and I'm a little disappointed. Why am I disappointed? Well, because I love Georgie and Quinn. Jordan and Alicia work really well together on screen, and that is something that is necessary when you have a on-screen relationship and you are portraying characters in a relationship. The actors portraying those characters need to have a really good relationship and connection, and Alicia and Jordan, in my opinion, work very well together on screen. I love when we have scenes with them together. And in this episode in particular, I love how Quinn was helping Tim with the polo practices, because that showed that he cares, at least in my opinion, about helping Georgie's family. Now, I know a lot of people don't like when I say that Georgie and Quinn are the next Amy and Ty, but I will, not that they're the next Amy and Ty, but I think that they are the next relationship that Heartland is going to focus on. And I think it is in episode 9, we know that Quinn's father is coming to Heartland, so I'm very interested to see the events that take place in that episode and how it, maybe shapes the future of the show. And I really do like their relationship, and I'm very happy with the way that it is being developed and told to us as an audience, and I am just very happy that they are back at Heartland, because I was not a big fan of how they just left in the middle of, the family grieving Ty's death. So I was very happy that they have returned to Heartland. And I also loved the interactions that Quinn had with Lou, but that should be no surprise. I love Lou. Michelle Morgan is amazing and phenomenal, and she absolutely nails every scene that she's in. Just my opinion. Is that favoritism? Yes. Do I care? No, I don't. And Tim playing Polo. Oh my gosh, I loved it. It was so funny. Tim and Jessica's relationship, I don't know how I feel. I'm happy that Tim is being honest with her. But I don't know how I feel about their relationship in the greater Heartland story. I guess we'll have to wait and see. Something that I found interesting with this episode, however, is I really thought as we got into the second half of season 14 that Ty's death was kind of going to be, I don't want to say not focused on, because season 14 is all about Amy dealing with Ty's death, but I really thought that it wasn't going to be the main focus point anymore. But this episode with Amy telling Lyndy that, her dad is gone and never coming back, and then Amy also trying to donate Ty's clothes and stuff like that, it was a lot more emotional than I thought it was going to be. I knew it was going to be emotional. I kind of thought that all the sadness and stuff was kind of in the first half, and the second half was going to be more back to the regular Heartland. But I understand that season 14 is all about Ty's death and the family learning to deal with it and grieve Ty's death and stuff. I was a little bit surprised when I saw the first looks and promos for this episode how front and center the story of Ty's death was in this episode. But I liked how it was. Shown to us and told to us. I just honestly wasn't expecting it to be so front and center again, because I thought we kind of dealt with that in the first half of season 14. And now my dog's barking. But anyway, when it comes to something that I was not a big fan of in this episode, I hate it. Yes, I'm going so far as to say I hate it. I hated how Jack responded, or how he reacted to Lyndy riding Harley. I liked the idea of Lyndy riding Harley and Harley becoming Lyndy's horse. I think that would be the cutest thing in the world, and I hope that is what happens. I hated how Jack reacted to that. I understand why he did react the way he did, but I hated it. I feel like Jack sometimes, I like Jack as a character, but I think that he feels that he is the one to make all of the decisions. And when it comes to Lyndy, and especially dealing with things that, have to do with Ty, I think that Amy needs to be the one to make those decisions, especially when it comes to her daughter and, helping her daughter, through and dealing with the fact that her dad's gone. That's something that Amy has to do. And if Amy thinks that riding Harley is good for Lyndy, then Jack shouldn't question it. I'm going to be honest with you guys, I did not like that. I was like, are you kidding? Do you not trust Amy with, to make decisions for her daughter and what's best for her? And that scene just kind of upset me a little bit. I did like the scene where Amy and Jack were talking about, how Ty did bubble wrap Lyndy, because that is honestly the truth. And I did like that scene, and Sean and Amber worked very well together on screen as well. They always have, in my opinion. I wasn't a fan of that scene at all. I hated it. And then I'm going to talk about this very quickly because I want to make a whole other video talk about this aspect of season 14. Surprise, because it is Lou getting married and, wedding shopping and stuff like that. I love it, okay? But you cannot I'm not convinced that they are going to get married, okay? Like, they're not going to get married. Mitch and Lou are not going to get married. And the reason that she's having such a hard time with this wedding planning, in my opinion, is because she doesn't know how she feels and if she wants to actually spend the rest of her life with Mitch. And I think that in a scene in this episode in particular, where Lisa is talking to Lou about, you know, her and Jack's wedding and how it really didn't matter the venue or the dress or anything like that. What matters is how you feel about the person that you're marrying and, you know, promising to spend the rest of your life with. That is what matters. And I think during that scene, Lisa was kind of thinking, maybe, at least this is what I thought, if Lou was happy or not, or if she was having second thoughts. And to me, it's extremely obvious that she's having second thoughts. And also, where is Mitch? I'm gonna say that. And yeah, that is basically my thoughts on episode 7. I really enjoyed it. However, there were some parts of the episode, Jack's issue with Harley and Lyndy, that I did not like. I also liked how Amy gave Lyndy Ty's jacket and then she hugged it and fell asleep. That was the most adorable thing on the planet, and I loved it. And overall, I really did enjoy this episode. Again, there were some things that I wasn't a big fan of, but I'm a TV show reviewer. I'm not going to like everything, and I'm going to be honest with you guys about what I do and don't like. One thing that I hated about this episode was that Rick was not in it. I'm sorry, but he's my favorite character. Where is he? Actually, he's one of my favorite characters. Lou will always be my favorite character. And Rick are my favorite characters. And Rick just kind of disappeared, and I'm not okay with it. And I swear, if he doesn't come back in season 14, I'm writing letters to CBC and to Heartland and being like, bring back my favorite characters, please. Okay? Alright. Anyway, that is all I have for today's video. Let me know what you guys think of or thought of episode 7 in the comment section down below. I would love to hear your thoughts and opinions on this episode, as I do know that Heartland season 14, a lot of people have very mixed emotions and feelings when it comes to this season. And I would love to know what you guys thought. But with that being said, I'm going to go. Make sure you leave a like on this video if you enjoy and to subscribe to my channel. But with that being said, I'm going to go. Goodbye.